Ah!
Ah!
There you go.
Hi, Anton.
Hello, how are you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So this is so exciting. You and I are so excited about your upcoming workshop at our beautiful Bluebird Hill Retreat. So we thought we'd do a little Zoom meeting and tell folks why we're so excited about it. And I'm Anne Blair Brown and the co-owner of Bluebird Hill Retreat. And um, Anton's work came on my radar years ago, and I just thought, wow, look at that. And then when I saw how young you were, I thought, ooh, that makes me mad.
I love
It's really
that.
mad. But you have such a wonderful style, and we're so excited you're coming to teach. And I think you specifically can teach people how to finally learn how to simplify the landscape, and which will make it so much more joyful. So we just thought we'd do this meeting for everybody, and I want to show you a little bit about Bluebird Hill Retreat and where the workshop will take place, and then we want to talk about Anton's work and talk about all kinds of fun stuff. So hopefully you'll stick around and listen to us. And why don't you go ahead and cue that video,
Okay, cool.
and then we'll talk about that. So this is a video that's on the Bluebird Hill website, and just a short 3-minute view of our passion for the place, what it looks like. Um, but let's watch that and hope you enjoy. My name is Anne Blair Brown, and I'm a professional artist. I started drawing and painting when I was a child, and when we traveled, by car, I would look out the window, and if we weren't on a major highway, and I would just look at all the architecture and the older houses, and it just spoke to me. Always has. Anything old that needs to be loved speaks to me. When Trey and I decided that we wanted a property that we could have as a creative space, we just thought, let's find a property out in nature, something bucolic. And just by happenstance, there was this house. I just connected with it immediately, and I beelined out here from Nashville. And as we're driving down one of the roads, getting close, 10 bluebirds just kind of flew in front of us, and we kind of looked at each other, and I thought to myself, I think that was a sign. As I sat on this front porch, and as I realized, this isn't my home, this is my creative space, it occurred to me that it needs to be shared. I love other art, I love music, I love anything creative, and would just take great delight in having people come share this space for that reason. Everywhere you look here, just the way we've set it up and the way it was originally built, everything's a painting and everything's a peaceful place for your eyes to land. I wanted to make the interior comfortable and, able to accommodate modern life, but kind of also make it a throwback to its original time period. It puts you back in time, but you have all the modern conveniences, and it's very comfortable living. This is a place for anybody who just wants to find a little peace and a little escape. A place like this can really, reform bonds. You can bring the family out here and just sit and rock in the porch swing and reconnect with each other. As you drive out here, you just feel all the stress just leaving your body. And then once you're out here, at least for me, I don't worry about, a lot of the things that we sort of get drawn into in our daily lives. So it's just a shedding and a bare bones, peaceful, calm feeling. You definitely find out parts of yourself that you didn't have time to think about in a busier life. Okay, pretty cool.
All right.
I never
When I
tire of watching that.
when I was watching that whole thing, I was realizing this is a painting. This is like your painting, like personified into a house. Like all of the spaces. It's seriously like Anne's world.
It
It
is. It
really
is.
is. And I think that's the whole thing is just like I think a lot of people who love your work like want to step into that, you know.
Oh, that's
Like, and
great. Yeah.
I'm kind of the same. I'm exactly the same way because I've been to the South quite a bit, and you have it. You have what I love about that place,
Tell
you
me,
know.
tell me, tell me about, your take, not being from the South, but having
Oh,
spent time here.
yeah, that's
Tell
a
me about
great.
what you think about the landscape and what you're excited to paint when you teach.
Yeah, I think for me, because I'm from Phoenix. I don't know how much like we're seeing the split screen, but it's all good. We can figure all
Yeah,
that
okay.
out, but it's all good. But being from Phoenix, the first time I went to the South, which is over 14 years ago now, when my wife we went there several times to Southern Virginia, a place called Danville, Virginia,
Hmm.
which can be kind of rough, right? So my experience of the South was first kind of like what I thought of the South, and then being in the South, it took some time for me to be like, okay, this is not just kind of like a caricature of what the South is. And this is just art in general, kind of like breaking that assumption of what I thought something was and
Hmm.
kind of dispelling that myth a little bit, you know?
Hmm.
And that's really all aspects of what I think being an artist is that you have an idea of what your life as an artist would be or what it takes to be an artist. And then
Hmm.
you don't know whether that's true or not unless you kind of go out and then just kind of like break that myth, kind of break that barrier a
Right.
little bit. And so, I mean, the South is just kind of like something that just for me just continues to unfold, you know?
And there's a grit to it to certain areas, and there's a grit in different northern areas, but I think it's different down here, probably because it can get so hot and it just makes people a certain way. But I don't know what it is about um, artists, but I think you'll agree, and anybody watching this would agree if you're a painter. Painting, poppies in Tuscany is beautiful. It's great, but I'll be walking around and I'll see light hitting a trash can in an alley, and I'm like, oh my God, that's that's so pretty, and we want to paint it. And we've got, the area around Bluebird Hill is there's just a lot of grit is the word that comes to mind, but just real life in the South. And the barns, and some of them are falling down, and the way some people live, and it's just all gorgeous.
Yeah, I think for you, this is kind of the same thing about stepping into Anne's world for me, is
Hmm.
because for you, I see the way that you're seeing that. I see
Hmm.
you preserving the area that you're in, and I do see the history. Like when we're driving through like North Carolina, and I do see those old sheds and old barns. I do see the history there, and there is a charm, kind of um, kind of reimagining what those spaces are,
Hmm.
and not everyone's doing that, but you are, and so I think for you, when you were talking about, kind of connecting, kind of having this space that's kind of um, a creative space, it's almost like this little pocket because you know not everywhere in the South, not everywhere in general can a plein air painter just paint. I've been in some areas where they just don't want you to paint, you
Hmm.
know. I've
Oh
been in
yeah,
some locations where they're like, don't look over here, and that's everywhere. I've been in
yeah.
Wyoming, I've been in California. You just don't look
Oh
in
yeah, I've been
certain
in Maine
spaces.
and been yelled off property,
Oh, right, for sure.
But that's the great thing about Bluebird Hills. It's contained, and you don't we don't have to run around. Okay, meet here at 9, and everybody's lost, and it's
Right.
just. And then we provide lunch, and we sit and enjoy the porch and the weather and all the buildings on the property, and it's just a really peaceful. The word retreat on Bluebird Hill Retreat is very accurate. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
just I'm curious about so this workshop is in October 16 through 19,
I'll be there.
2024.
I had
Yes.
that in the front of my
Yeah.
mind, those
Yeah.
dates.
So part of the impetus in doing the workshop in October was to take advantage of fall color too. So
Mm,
I'm super excited to see how you handle that as so different from where you're from. Um,
right.
it's and right around then it's going to start getting pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. And I think I saw that a little bit in your work in the video. um, kind of I think when I think of color in general, especially with like, fall color in general, you're dealing with something that's overly saturated in your mind. Like
Yeah.
mentally, it's kind of like it's overwhelming. And that's just kind of another idea is to think of, especially that's a visual problem, which I really
Right.
like, is where you
Right.
have something that's like, oh, this is all orange, this is all red, this is all yellow. Well, how do you inside a painting make it so that really seems vibrant? You might have to bring some things down with color in order to
Right.
emphasize where you want the eye to go. And I
Right.
know I did outdoor still life painting for probably 2 years. I just did that. And I know you did
Yeah.
some outdoor still life painting. And I did that just to kind of, and what that kind of taught me is how to move the eye around a little bit, So
Right.
if I have like a lot of yellows or a lot of oranges inside the trees or the leaves, then I'm thinking, well, some of them are going to be maybe like muted down grayish
Right.
yellow, or muted red. Some of them might not even look red, right?
Right. Right.
Using like this
Everything's
relative
comparison.
color.
Right. Everything's
Yeah, yeah, but
comparison.